Welcome to Yesterday, Today, Tomorrow. My name is Mariana Cordier, and I am your host. The focus of the show will be the importance of the census. We will address the facts and myths. Today's four guests that will help us understand the census issues are Gloria Aparicio Blackwell, is the Director of Office and Community Engagement at the University of Maryland. University of Maryland is very involved in the census after College Park missed out on a significant funding due to an inaccurate census count in 2010. Daniel Jones, Maryland representative for the U.S. Census, is working on getting the word out of the importance of being counted in the 2020 census and the financial impact it has to the local and state jurisdictions. Jesse Mejia Terry, Latino Community Liaison for Montgomery County Executive Office of Community Partnerships, will address the efforts the county is making to address fears residents have about being counted. Gloria Bonilla is Associate Director of Advancement and Community Engagement for Montgomery College. She will emphasize the importance of the census and how results impact our community colleges. The 2020 census is coming so fast and it's so important. I haven't really heard that much about it.
Yes, well, Mariana, thank you very much for the opportunity to discuss that. It's a critical issue, and today and this year we are going to be facing the civic duty, like as voting and also the census.
Yeah, but the census, I didn't realize was how big it is.
It is huge, and you mentioned about the University of Maryland, and one of the things that University of Maryland is doing, we're taking this seriously. And it's not because we were not before. The reason is that sometimes college students, they feel that they live still with their parents, and they're here just to be in this town that perhaps they don't feel that that's home. Mm-hmm. And for us, just to educate, they are here. And the situation that they are here, they're using the services, they're using the roads, everything that is pertaining about what to be the census.
Well, I heard you speak at another event, and what really struck me was what the definition of residing, the date and when. Can you?
Yes, sure. And I know Daniel will speak more about this as the U.S. representative. As a matter of fact, we partner with the U.S. Census. We're taking this so seriously, we decided let's go and talk to the agency, the federal agency addressing this so we can do it right. And you're right. The day of Census Day, April 1st, that's where you live. Of course, if you're here for a couple of days on vacation, I don't think that you're going to be calling that home. But if you are in this area and that's the place that you're living in, that is the place that is going to be completed in that form. And that is April 1st. So that's one of the things that we're encouraging our campus community. We're encouraging Prince George's County in this case. They lost around $383 million because of an undercounted situation. Out of this money, taxpayer money that we are missing out, is critical that we do this even more today.
Right, because
all
that's
benefits.
Our taxpayers' money distributed.
$675 billion. Each one of us is $1,800, approximately $1,800 every year for 10 years. Imagine if we missed that individual that didn't complete that form or added that.
That's very impactful. That really adds up. What do you think?
Well, first of all,
this is your thing.
First of all, thank you for being so excited about the 2020 census.
Yeah.
This is incredible. We are excited. We are extremely happy how things are going. We are definitely thankful for the support that we are getting from the community. I mean, the involvement, the level of energy from the University of Maryland, Montgomery College, Montgomery County, the energy is incredible. And I truly believe we're going to have an exciting and excellent and great census in 2020. Now, one of the beautiful things is that we do want to make sure everyone is counted, right? And because of that, we're making it much easier for people to be counted.
Well, how do you get counted? Because to be honest with you, I don't remember how 2010 went.
So, I know.
Not to claim Alzheimer's or anything, but no, how do you get counted?
Well, now, one thing that I tell people usually is that this is not a population count, it's a household count, right?
Okay.
Because it is important to understand that you as an individual is not going to get an invitation to go online. And remember, that didn't say a form, because you're not getting a form, right? You're getting an invitation to go online and complete a census form. For the first time ever, you'll be able to actually do the census online. You can use your phone, your tablet, your computer.
What happens to those folks that don't have access to? Because there are people who don't have access to computers and tablets. I mean, phones, everyone has got one, but
right.
Is there an alternative on how to get access?
In order for this to happen, in order for us to have a successful census, we need the support of the community.
Right.
And I got to tell you, we have some great community partners who are actually identifying locations in the community where their people can go and complete the census form. And I'm sure Montgomery County will talk about that later.
Yeah.
But and we're excited. I mean, it's just an amazing opportunity. And the University of Maryland is doing the same. Everyone understands that we have gaps. We have areas that we need the community support, and right now that's what's happening because the census is around the corner. But by the way, we actually begin the count and the 22nd of this month in Alaska. So so this is the train left the station.
So
we're ready for this.
Postcard, is that what it is, to the household address, not to a person, but to the address?
Exactly. So
so who of all the folks that live in the house answer it?
So the first thing, March 12th, 2020. That's when you will receive that first invitation. You get 5 reminder. You get the first one. Yes, we're killing the planet with all this paper. But you first get a first invitation, right? Asking you to please, go online and complete the census form. Then after that, you will get a second invitation, regardless if you completed the census form when you first got the first invitation. Everyone gets two reminder at the beginning, right? Then there's a third reminder for those individuals who have not completed the census form up to this point. And then after that, there's a fourth reminder. The unique thing about the fourth reminder is that it comes with a census form, paper form. So not only by the way, you have 3 ways of completing your census form. Remember that I said earlier that this is easy to do. This is like so simple, a caveman can do it.
And only 9 questions.
There's only 9 questions, right?
Questions.
So, but here's the thing, you asked me a few seconds ago, you said, hey, what about for those individuals that, might not have access to the internet or have a computer at home, and whatnot. And again, yes, our community partners are helping us with that, which is great, but also you have other choices. If you do not want to do it using online, you can actually do it over the phone. We will provide you the phone number that you can call and do it over the phone. And if you don't want to do it over the phone, we'll actually give you the paper form too, so you can do it on paper. We are not getting rid of papers. If you want paper, we will give you paper. Okay?
Being a lawyer, I understand the paper thing.
And I think in case of the partnership with Montgomery College, that's one of the things that you're going to be doing, opening the libraries for people to come and complete.
Oh, yes. I think it's great. I think it's one thing that I find this time around is that there is a lot of excitement, people understanding the implications of not participating in the census. And I think for us, I was so excited when I first learned that it was this big push to reach the hard-to-reach individuals.
Right.
And that is I think is where the college is stepping in. We are the equivalent of a small town, the college. We have over 50,000 students and 3,000 employees. And they're not only individuals residing in the county, who have students that come from other jurisdictions in the state of Maryland and the District of Columbia. So we are very much interested in doing our part. And we are opening, I don't want to take everybody's time, but this is having the back end and the interest of the institution to do this is because for us represents education.
Right.
We are a public institution. So therefore we need everybody, every single one of us who study at the college and their families is going to have to step in. I know Daniel and I will be having conversations about what to do in that. So the 1st of April, the 3 libraries in all 3 campuses are going to be open to the public.
So Montgomery College's campuses are located in Tacoma Park, Rockville, and Germantown.
Okay. And then from 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock, we want the community to come. If they don't have access to a computer, we're going to be there. we're bilingual. If somebody says, I don't speak English, I don't read English, no problem. We're going to be there to assist you. So the excuses or the barriers that sometimes we impose ourselves are not going to be there, because we're going to make sure that everybody is going to have the means, the way to fill this out, because the consequences, the implications are too great. We cannot miss one person not be counted. So it's I count, you count, we all count.
Exactly.
So, yes.
And then the beauty this time, you have what, 14 languages or more that
Yeah,
can
we
be?
have 13 languages,
13 languages?
including English. Like you can do this.
Yeah.
And don't forget that one. Right? But also, one unique thing is that if you live in a census tract that have a 20%, where 20% of the population in that census tract speaks Spanish, they will actually get a Spanish language questionnaire with the first mailing. So you won't even have to ask for one. So not only do we have the 13 languages, but we also have language guide in 59 additional languages.
Wow.
So we're doing everything we can to ensure that everyone have access to not only the questionnaire, but if they don't understand it, they can understand in their own language too. So this is critical. Again, we also have a huge marketing campaign that actually begins the 15th of this month. In that campaign, we'll actually target the first wave, we'll target the hard to count populations, which is critical, right? And then next month, we will begin our campaign for the general population. Very critical, very important. So from our side, we want to do everything we can to count everyone, and that is critical. Now, what we ask people to do is please go online and do it, because we invest a lot of money. It's your taxpayers' money, so please do it online. But again, there are other choices, and I want people to understand that. Our goal is to get you to do this. As soon as you get that invitation, go online. But also in our communities, immigrant populations, communities, we also know that you have different families living in one household, right? And sometimes we rent or sublease our apartments, our houses, the basement. Please make sure that you include everyone who lives in the household. Please include it in your questionnaire, right?
And that includes babies.
0 to 5.
Babies, that's
Oh
right.
my goodness, yes.
This is one of our hardest to count populations,
Yeah.
right? The hardest to count, the kids. Now, I don't know, I have no idea
Yes.
why is it that parents do not want to include their kids. Again, could be a behavioral issues, I don't know, but hopefully not. But we want to make sure that they include their kids, because those kids receive services. We have medical care, health care, Medicaid, and all the services, healthcare services that the kids receive. It's important that we have that information. So we're talking about having people go online, complete the census form. They get 5 reminder or invitation to do it, right? Then after the 5th letter, which is your last chance to do it online on your own, then beginning May 12th, we send out we begin what is called non-response follow-up. And that's when someone, not as hands-on as me, will come knocking on your door to get that information, right? So if you do not want anyone coming knocking on your door, Gloria?
Yeah, we need to
what you
complete
do?
that. I need to complete that.
you
Or
got-
call. I can call me, call the census in this case.
And
Not me,
we'll
the
do it.
census.
We'll help you. We have so many
Yeah.
ways that we can help you get this done. So
Okay, so we're going to take a quick break, but we're going to come back and talk about those 0 to 5. We'll take a break. We'll be right back.
Well, I first started skating with my friend. He had an extra board, and then he just gave it to me, and I've been skating ever since. Well, when I don't land a trick and I have my mind set on something, and I'm not getting what I want, I just keep going for it until I get it right. My mom, she didn't go to college, so she wants me to experience that whole thing, and so I could end up getting like a good job. I think to get into college, I'll have to be determined, just like when I want to get a new trick, and skating's helped me realize I've got what it takes.
But it would be safe to keep your distance until
A secret that laughter makes you smile.
reliable sources say that chicken soup has found their way out of this dangerous, but it is safe until they are returned.
Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. Go to discovertheforest.org.
And we're back. So, Jesse, what is the county doing to help with the census?
Okay. The county has a regional and a population-based strategy. We are partnering with the Census. We're working with the colleges. We're working with several different other partners, Renters Alliance, nonprofits, business sector, to make sure that we are not just providing people with information, but also telling them how to be counted in the census, why it's important to be counted on the census. And for Montgomery County and all the jurisdictions, it's critically important to...
Why? Everyone keeps saying,
why?
You gotta
because,
do it, but why?
Because, well, us as citizens, we pay our taxes. However, those taxes have to get redistributed back to the, to the state and to the local governments. And as you know, local governments need funding in order to, provide funding for schools, for health, for business, for students, for the business sector. I mean, it really does affect everything that county government does. And so in order to provide, affordable housing or bring in lunch meals for kids in the schools. But it's all county services that you can think of are provided with census.
And that's why the babies are important.
Exactly.
I think it's all of us. I think it's what I think we missed before in the previous campaigns that I think we're driving home is the fact that everybody is impacted in different ways. We at the college, obviously, is education, is financial aid, is after school programs, is, adult education, et cetera, et cetera. But to me, it was very important recently talking to someone who works as a custodial at a school. I was there for a meeting and approaching her, asking, have you heard from the census? Do you know what the census is and all this? And she said, no. And then I said, oh, you probably participated in 2010. And she said, no. I asked her, how long have you been in the United States? 20 years. And to me, I thought, oh my goodness, we're going to miss this person again. And then I started talking about what you said, what's the census and why the importance. The minute I put it to her, why? I said, do you know it's your taxes? That you pay taxes, now this money is coming back to help you.
So
it's a benefit to us.
I think that's really important to address, particularly for the immigrant community, the minority community, is can they, I don't know if this is for Gloria or for Dan, can they be deported? If you've got a house that they send the postcard to and you have 10 individuals living in there, do they report the 10? Do they not? Is there a legitimate grounds for their fear that immigration is going to knock on the door and deport them?
At the Census Bureau, we take the responsibility of safeguarding your information very seriously. We understand that we exist because we're able to protect your information. The moment that we stop doing so, that would be the moment that we stop being the Census Bureau. Because the reason why people participate is because they can trust that we keep that information confidential. Now, by law, we are not allowed to share your data, your information with any other government agency or with any other individuals or private company. It doesn't really matter.
So if you've got 10 people in a house and they're scared that a landlord or a community might say, that's too many, you're over capacity, you need to move out, they're not going to get any information, any of the jurisdictions from the census. That is not...
That is correct. And again, that is by law, that we do not share that information. What we share with the public is aggregated data. We do not share micro data, right? Okay. So meaning your name, date of birth, that information is protected. In fact, it stays confidential for 72 years, right?
I'll be dead by the time you release it.
And that's exactly the reason why. That's exactly the reason why we keep it confidential for 72 years. So it is important for the community to understand that we take this very seriously. There is no case, there's no reason for you to worry about that. In fact, I tell you, Facebook and Google have more information about you than the census does, really. So just keep that in mind as we talk about this issue.
That's actually part of what the county is doing too, because our work is to make sure that people understand that this is safe information there. No one's going to share it. That, you know, because as, you know, residents in any jurisdiction, we need trash removal or anything that we need from the county, where we live, our housing.
Delegates.
Delegates, representation. So all of that is funded or made available and done because of the census aggregated data.
Exactly. And one of the things that we're trying to educate the population, because there was that fear, I had to be a citizen of the United States in order to complete this form. Well, no. Is everyone living Census Day, you're here, that's what you're going to be completing over the phone, online, where you live.
Okay, so a shout out to University of Maryland College Park students who are living in the dorms.
And even international students.
They
need to complete that form. They need to add that information. And that is the critical aspect that we want to. And we have to be thinking about that depending on the community that we're talking with, what messages will resonate with them. Because if we are talking about too high, because it's Congress representation, for some people might understand that, but if I tell them, this is about the nonprofit that serve you, this is about the schools that you're sending your kids to, this is about students that need financial aid, Pell Grant, that's where the money comes in.
The health
clinics. So that's the health clinic. For college students could be those main brand, I'm not gonna mention what brand it is, and that will come to your town, because sometimes they will not come to your town because they know that the population is not gonna be big enough.
Fast food, very important.
Very important.
Very important to a student diet.
and for the college students, it's not just about completing that information, but also about civic engagement. What is it that I need to be involved with the community, being an advocate, being ambassadors to go out and talk why it's important to be part of the census, getting that information.
And I think it's what we're talking about here, Gloria, is that this is very crucial, I think, to 2020, because I'm sure that the people who are going to participate this time around, they're going to do it again in 2030. And they're going to do it, the family's going to do it too. I think the impact, what you said earlier, the kids, that was a population, it's a group that it was not counted and considered important because somehow the families, the adults didn't think that child was important to count it. I think talking about myth, that's a big one.
Right, because if they were just born even, and now they're 10 years old, I mean, and so that means they're in schools, services, health.
I don't think the parents know, they don't even think. Danny and I, we were having a chat before we came to sit and having this conversation. And is that it goes from the buses is going to drive your kids from and back to school. It is the lunch money that is going to be there or not. It is the repercussions of not participating is huge, it's humongous.
And let me say something about the ambassadors. As a matter of fact, that's part of the strategy for Montgomery County. We are not just partnering with organizations, but we are asking our community members, volunteers, anyone who just comes into contact with us to be a census ambassador. Daniel is going to be helping me tomorrow with a census ambassador training in the Rockville Library. And we are going to be talking about the importance of the census, and so that these people, the folks that join us for the training, are able to go on and talk about it to others. So we will be, making sure that community members can talk about it freely, can inform their neighbors, etc.
All right. So if you want more information, check out the U.S. Census online or your community leaders for more information. Thank you all for joining me this week, and thank you, the audience, for watching our show. Until next week, I'm Mariana Cordier. Good night.